All right, my friends, how are you today? So good to be home. So good to be back in the studio. Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Saturday, the 20th of February, 2021. We've got the sun moving through Pisces, connecting with our oneness, connecting with the spirituality, connecting with our intuition, giving ourselves a break, giving ourselves some rest, much needed rest of this crazy energy that's going on. I'm going to be very excited right now to show you the chart. Here we go. Hey, here we go. The sun here, 2 degrees of Pisces, creating a septile down here to the north node and the moon. The moon is going to conjunct the north node, as you see here, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so the moon, the emotional need connecting with the north node is about self-discovery, something we talked about yesterday. The north node is where we're moving as a whole, as a collective, globally. Okay, this doesn't matter if you're a Leo or a Scorpio or a Pisces or a Capricorn, whatever you are. You know, the beautiful human being that you are. All right, we're all collectively moving toward this space of self-discovery and discovering who and what it is that we are and what we're doing and trying to create here on this planet. Okay, now there's been a creation. Okay, a government existed before any of us were born. Structures and organizations were created here. This Capricorn entity, right? The concept, the structure, government. You know, a civilization and the order of how things go, the rules, the laws and regulations, all of these things, right? This all existed far beyond or far before any of us were even a thought, right? And Pluto's the only one left here, which is about transformation, death, destruction, the phoenix rising from the ashes, which means something is changing and transforming. Our world as we know it is changing and transforming, right? And this new world here, this breakthrough, innovative, technological driven, digital revolution, if you will, is among us, this age of Aquarius, right? This is the crowning, if you will, of birthing of this new age is going on. You know, according to the Mayan calendar, this is something that had started December 21st, 2012. All right, I know it's debatable between some astrologers whether or not we're in this age or not, but we can kind of look around us and see everything is digital. We don't have to go too much into that. Regardless, right? So it's like the structure, the order, everything is changing. All of this stuff that was and isn't necessarily how it has to be. Okay, and that's something that's a beautiful aspect of what's going on right now. We have Jupiter here creating a trine down here to the north node and the moon. The moon is our emotional need, connecting with the north node. Again, as a collective, we're discovering what is right, what is wrong. What is the potential to where we could be? What is the potential answer that is correct? What is the potential answer that is not correct? We have to, you know, turn every stone in this sense to figure out exactly what is. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Apple software. This isn't even an Apple computer. Why am I getting Apple software updates? I don't own a single Apple product. Anyway, sorry about that. You know, and the sun here, septile down here to the moon in the north node. This is about connecting with that intuitive self, right? Our spiritual self. It's closing the eyes, right? It's closing our eyes, closing our ears. This is like one of the beautiful things about meditation, you know, when we get good at it or when we allow ourselves to sink into it, you know, it's like our 5 senses, you know, we technically have, sidebar, we technically have 7 senses. You know, there's touch, taste, smell, see, and hear, but scientifically proven there's the sense of balance and the sense of motion. Okay, so even when your eyes are shut, you can have a blindfold mask on. You can be in a bubble touching nothing, but if you're moving or off balance because of the things that are in our body, our eyeballs for one, the liquid in our brain, the liquid in our stomach, we know if we're in motion, we know if we're in balance. So this is one of those things. Like, we're not being taught that. You know, just like we're not being taught how to make clean water, how to grow food, how to create shelter for ourselves, how to, you know, clothe ourselves, and where do we put our waste? You know, we're not taught these things in school. Just like this, we're not taught necessarily these other 2 senses, or even, you know, the 8th sense, the sense of being stared at. okay? You know that's real. We all know that's real, but yet science can't prove it. Science can't prove it, so we're not being taught it, but we know it's real. We know intuition is real. We know, being an empath is real. We know that we can feel things that aren't a physical thing. We can feel emotions. If someone has nervous energy and they come around us and we're calm, peaceful waters, Pisces, calm, peaceful waters, and the buzzing electrical energy of this Aquarian energy comes into those peaceful waters, it's like we know we can feel that stuff, right? So anyway, coming back to this idea of meditation, it's just like when we allow ourselves to go so internal that we lose those senses. We lose what's around us. It doesn't matter what, we're not distracted by the sounds around us. We're not distracted by the lights around us. We're not distracted by the wonderful smells or terrible smells, hopefully wonderful smells, and we allow ourselves to be. We allow ourselves to connect with source energy. We allow ourselves to connect with our spiritual self, right? And it's the saying, once we do this, that we know the answers. And something we talked about yesterday, it's like the answers are within you. The questions are within you. The journey is within you. The answers are a part of you, right? And it's about closing off those senses and going internal, okay? Finding out what it is, discovering ourselves, okay? And we're all there. We're all in a place of discovery right now. So as well, as Mercury is stationed direct, we'll bring it back to the chart here, is Mercury stationed direct today? Okay, it will be all day today. For some reason, in my other program that I use on my phone, it said that Mercury was out of retrograde and direct by 8 p.m. tonight, and it is not. It's not till Sunday night. So, anyway, it's like we're still figuring things out. The communication might still be not moving forward how we want it to be. Okay, we're still in this place of figuring things out. So it's like, trying not to be upset with other people in their place of discovery. To not be upset with people if they made a decision that we didn't like, because they're still discovering and trying to figure out what's going on. And Jupiter here is saying we want more. We want an abundance of this new technology, abundance of this new growth, abundance of this digital age. And Saturn is limiting Jupiter. Saturn is limiting how much growth we're allowing ourselves to do right now. Saturn is saying we need laws and order and rules, before everything just goes, to Saturn's idea, chaotic. But in the Aquarian age, or the, Uranus concept, it's the innovation that's necessary to move us forward and break us from a cycle that we've been in for way too long. Okay, if we could rediscover how we need to live as human beings while still keeping the same infrastructure that we have now, what would it look like? What would it look like? What could it be? How would we treat each other? How would we treat, men and women? If the patriarchy didn't exist and it was everything really was equal. If the concepts of racism didn't exist and everyone was equal, how do we treat each other? What would be different? The answer is yes. And Saturn here is septile to the South Node. This is part of that. In history, how people have treated each other, and from who was the authority, right? Was it the man over a woman? Was it, a race thing? It's just like things existed. But what are we creating now? Who are we moving forward, right? Do we need to focus our time and energy on seeing those parts of other people that we don't like while they're still discovering as well? Or do we allow things to let go of in a certain sense so we can go on our own path as well? I hope that's coming across how I'm intending it to. And we have a Venus square to Mars. Okay? And Mars is saying moving forward, we're still in this place of tradition. We still need the same order and structure that we had before. As Mars is trine to Pluto. Mars and Pluto are an octave of each other. Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. As Mars deals with action, Pluto deals with active transformation. Action in the sense of change, right? Well, Mars is just action. Okay, and Venus is what do we love, want, and desire? We love, want, and desire this new way of living, this equality, right? Where it doesn't matter what gender, what race, we treat people fairly, right? So we have this square, and this square is happening the same time. Well, I mean, it's earlier in the day, I can bring it back, but it doesn't matter. The same time as Mercury's still not out of retrograde yet. You know, so this is coming back to what we started with, you know, of being gentle, those peaceful waters with other people as everyone's trying to figure out how to move forward, you know, who we are individually, who we are collectively, our individual thoughts, my thoughts, our thoughts collectively of how we're moving forward. Yeah. And the little standoff going on is saying, hey, we need to work together. That's the beauty of squares. It's not just tension. It's we need to work together. We need to, you know, we're on the same team. Essentially, all of these planets are on the same team. The whole zodiac is on the same team. There is no better. There is no worse. You know, I see some people say that, what's the best sign? What's the, you know, and there's like exalted, you know, right? The moon's exalted here in Taurus, and Saturn's exalted over here in Libra. You know, Venus is exalted in Pisces. So there's like placements where planets you know, shine the brightest, if you will. But that doesn't mean that a placement is negative or bad, or it's not, you know, we're all in it together. They're all in it together, and these are different aspects of ourselves. And, you know, going like with the water stuff of Pisces, it's like we all have a shadow. There's no getting out of that shadow. We all have, as squeaky clean as somebody can be, everybody has moments where they slip on their own squeaky cleanness. You know, we can all slip. We can all do something. But it's up to us to determine, okay, now I've fallen off the horse. I see my error, my ways, or what had happened or what had gone wrong. Now it's about getting back up and discovering what it is and how it is I want to move forward. How I want to progress, you know, and who collectively we're moving forward with. If something is stuck, or someone or individuals are stuck in a traditional may not be the best word, or stuck in the past in the way that we once thought life was, and we're moving in this direction, then that's okay. We don't need to, you know, it says like we don't need to stand in the middle of the road and risk ourselves being hit by a car by saying you need to come over here. You know, we just need to simply cross the road and show that it's safe, and show that we can progress over here, and that we can live this way. We can live harmoniously. We can live as equals. We can live in peace. We can live, you know, without the structures and authority of the government kind of telling you how to live. But yet at the same time, we understand that we do need laws and orders. You know, this is like coming back to, you know, where do we put our waste? We can't just allow everyone to, you know, to pee and poo in the river. Right? So there must be order. There must be some sort of a structure, but it's up to us collectively to rediscover what it is and how it is that we're moving forward. So we can allow personal freedoms, and that's part of the Aquarian energy, is personal freedoms. It's like, I've always loved that old quote. It's like, it's not a war on drugs, it's a war on personal freedoms. You know, whatever about drug use, but it's just like, it's a war on personal freedoms. But it, you know, it's how we're viewing it, how we're thinking about it. And that's part of the beauty of Saturn moving forward in Aquarius, creating that septile to the south node. This is flipping the switch in our brains of how we're viewing something, how we're thinking about something, and how something is. You know, it's like the blanket truth versus our own personal filter based on the past, based on what was yesterday, or what was 10 years ago, or what was 100 years ago. It's kind of removing that veil and seeing things clearly and saying, okay, now that that obstacle is out of the way, this is the blanket truth. And we're all discovering what that truth is at the same time, right? And it's the last day of Mercury retrograde, the first Mercury retrograde of the year. So being patient with ourselves, going internal, kind of letting go of our senses, letting go of those things that trigger us, if we can, you know, and finding that peace in those calm, still waters, right? And in those calm, still waters, that septile, the sun, down there to the moon and the North Node, in those calm, still waters is where we see the reflection clearly and find the answers that are within us. Okay? Such a cool day, my friends. Happy Saturday. So good to be home. So good to be back here. So good to talk about the chart and show you this. I love you. I wish you enough. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow.